Hey, welcome to the You're Not Gonna Make It podcast, where I discuss threats that may prevent you from making it. Today's topic is being fat. No, not obesity, just being fat. Being fat sucks. And I can say this because I was a pretty fat teenager. I had to lose 100 pounds, so I've been on both ends of the spectrum. This episode might devolve into just bitching about being fat, but take it as a cautionary tale. I'm telling you why. This will prevent you from making it. Just financially, health wise, mentality wise, it's terrible. One of the worst ways that being fat sucks is that buying clothes is a horrible experience. Not just because everything, barely fits you, but because it all looks like trash. When you have man boobs, the shirt can only look so cool. Personally, what I did was when I was fat and I was looking for shirts to get, I would get some with very complex graphics on them, a lot of texts, anything that would, hide my man boobs. And buying pants sucked. When your thighs are super fat, nothing fits. I couldn't wear jeans for the majority of my life, or at this point, maybe half my life, because my thighs were too thick. They didn't really make jeans like that. Nowadays, they have these stretchy jeans that you can kind of fit anything into. But back then, normal jeans, they just did not fit. If my legs could fit into the jeans, that means the waist part was way, 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 way too big. And if it fit around the waist, well, it wasn't going to fit around my thighs in a comfortable way. So that sucked. Now, funnily enough, when I lost weight, I lost a bunch of weight, pretty much everything fit. That was great. But especially when I was doing a bunch of powerlifting, not competitive, but just, powerlifting movements, squatting, deadlifting, overhead press, bench press, a few years ago, a similar problem occurs. If I wear button-down shirts, once every 2 years, the chest part is it's gonna fucking burst. It's not like you need to get clothes tailored at a certain point when you're fit as well. And same for the pants. They used to not fit often because my thighs were too fat. Now, sometimes they don't fit because my thighs are too strong. It's like the same fucking problem, except I don't feel like a piece of shit this time. So it's better. It is better. But man, I can't buy pants sight unseen. I need to go there and try it out. I absolutely cannot, but unless they're shorts, then yeah, I can buy them because the thigh thing is not an issue. For a health related issue in regards to being fat is your skin kind of sucks. I was looking at pictures of myself when I was fatter the other day, and I realized my skin kind of sucked. As in pimples, few discolorations, stuff like that. It's a little weird. Like it's irritated in random places. And that's because when you're fat, your body is in rebellion against itself. It's not fun. So oftentimes, if you lose weight, your skin does clear up too. Oftentimes. And here's something that only affects children. Well, actually, you would think it only affects children. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think this affects all fat people. You get picked last. Now, I'm specifically referring to gym class, as in I can't think of a time when I wasn't picked last for the teams in the gym class. I think I wasn't picked last when I had a friend who was a captain or when it was a sport like hockey, where they're thinking, oh yeah, the fatter you are, the better goalie you can be, right? That's not how it works. But those were the only situations where I wasn't picked last. In every other scenario, last, you're fat, you're not going to be helpful, fuck you. We don't want you on the team. But that does apply in real life too. You do get picked last in other scenarios. I guess dating would be a comparison. You get picked last in that sense too. You're the last person people want to sit next to on a train or a bus. Now, part of that is due to just people being, uncomfortable being near each other these days. But yeah, part of it is, yeah, if I have to sit next to anyone on the train that's not going to be next to the fat guy, that's how that works in real life too. Which that one actually makes a bit of sense, If we're talking about physics here, it's a spacing thing. It's not ideal to do that. I forgot where I was coming back from, but on the plane, I was between two very overweight women, and it was just it sucked, just sucked. So being next to someone fat also sucks. And going back to the health related thing with the skin, it goes way past the skin too. It's not just skin deep. Ooh. It goes way deeper than that with the health issues. If you're overweight, your body is just trying way harder to live. So while your heart is pumping, pumping, the rest of your body is suffering as well because it doesn't have the resources to deal with all this shit. So you're gonna suffer from more diseases. You'll get sick more often. Honestly, since I become fit, I get sick about once a year, maybe. And even then, it's kind of like a stuffy nose for a few days. But my days of having constant colds and stuff like that, those are behind me, thankfully. Now, part of that is due to not being fat anymore, and part of it is due to the fitness. Because just because you're not fat doesn't mean you're fit. That's another thing that sucked about being fat. The constant underestimation. When you're fat, you are essentially wearing a weighted suit all the time. Think of Goku or Piccolo in Dragon Ball. They're carrying weighted clothing all the time. Take that off, strong as fuck. And that was the case for me. I remember, I think in my last year of high school when I was just actually trying to lose weight for about a year at that point, we had the presidential fitness test and I won in terms of the most amount of push-ups because I was fucking strong at that point. Now, I don't know how the form was, but no one corrected me, so I'm assuming it was fine. But I was doing more push-ups than everyone else. I don't know if they were weak or I was strong or a mix of both, but that was awesome. And as well, I was able to beat a couple people in races, or people who you think would beat a fat guy like me. But no, my legs were strong. They could push me really fucking well. I was able to beat a guy. I remember running from one side of the gym to the other. I was able to beat him in that short distance because my legs were just strong enough to carry me that way. Now, put me in a long distance run and I'm fucked. Completely, it's over. I'm not going to make it. But short term, yeah, these strong legs can carry, even if you're fat. Now, if you're really fat, I wouldn't recommend running in general because your knees can't take it. But, the strength carries over into speed is my point here. But when you're fat, people think, hey, you suck at everything. You have no redeeming qualities. Now, that's rude, of course. And you should strive to not be fat anymore. But there's this, there's just a disrespectful amount of underestimation when it comes to fat people. It sucks being fat in that sense too, because people underestimate you physically and then they carry that over mentally as well. Which, to be fair, has actually a bit of science to it. If you're really, really fat, yes, you can be smart, but I believe there are parts of your brains that are underdeveloped or something. There's something that makes it not as good as it could be. I forget what it is. Don't quote me. I'm not a scientist. Oh, and another thing too, when you're fat, especially as a kid and a teenager, if someone farted, guess what? You're prime suspect. Because, yeah, of course, the fat guy, he's disgusting. He farts all the time. Fuck him. Yeah, he did it. And yeah, sometimes it is the fat guy, but oftentimes it's not, and it sucks. And when you're fat, you're just way hungrier than everyone else because you have more energy that you need to maintain your body. So then not only are you being fat, but you're acting fat as well. And it's not fun to be around people who point that out. So yeah, the moral of the story is essentially being fat sucks. If you didn't know it already. But here's some stats for you. Globally, obesity has more than doubled since 1980, which is crazy. I know there's prehistory where we didn't write things down, but just think about going back to ancient Egypt. When was that? 2000 BC, 3000 BC? I don't know. Say like at least 4,000 years ago, right? Only in the last 40-ish years has the rate of obesity doubled. That's fucking insane. And that doesn't bode well for our future as a species. In fact, about a little less than 10 years ago, 1/4 of the global population was overweight. Oh boy. Now I know these are related to obesity when the episode's about being fat, but you know, if you're obese, you're fat. So obesity is linked to about 5 million deaths per year worldwide. That's fucking insane. There are millions of deaths just by people being fat. That's pretty crazy. In about 5 years, half of Americans will be obese. More than half are already fat. Talking obese, it's going to be half. Very cool. I didn't know this, but this is interesting. The economic impact of obesity just in the United States is about $150 billion annually. I'm assuming that's related to healthcare and whatnot. I mean, I wonder what else it could be. Just fat-related injuries or something, maybe? I don't know. People falling downstairs causing property damage, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, obesity costs about $150 billion economically. That's the impact of it. Wow. That sucks too. Oh, also, something else about being fat that sucks. You can't cosplay very well. I know it's kind of a random, weird thing, but if you're into going to conventions and cosplaying, if you're really fat, you can't do cosplay very well. Obviously, if the costume is recognizable, it's going to work regardless, but yeah, most characters are not fat, so it just puts a strain on the cosplay, pun intended. For me, when I lost a lot of weight and became fit, I was able to cosplay as Tien from Dragon Ball. And that wouldn't really work if I were fat. So just having fun is tough if you're fat. Another thing too, for amusement parks or even just playgrounds, you can't have fun. You can't do the monkey bars if you're fat, depending how fat you are. Going to the beach, going to water parks just sucks because you don't want to take off your shirt because your man boobs are out there. And if you leave on your shirt, everyone knows why. You might as well just take that shit off. Your leisure time, your enjoyment of life just plummets if you're fat. So it's not great. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. How can you make it in this case? Well, lose weight. It is that simple, but it is not that easy. Now, here's how you do it. Look up a calorie calculator. Put in your data. Be honest about it. See how many calories you need, and then eat under that amount. Track it so that you know you're doing it correctly. And then over time, you will just lose weight. Now, don't go crazy. Don't go, I'm going to eat 1,000 calories per day. No, your body needs a certain amount just to fucking pump blood through your body. So don't be insane. But yeah, pretty much any amount under your maintenance amount of calories will lose you some weight. And once you lose some weight, recalculate it, readjust, and then go from there. Kind of is as simple as that, but the hard part is not eating, because eating is fun. What you can do to help with that is exercise. Do resistance training. You can build some muscle, and then at rest, your body will burn more calories when you're not exercising. Now, you can't out-exercise a bad diet, but you can nudge the progress along a bit easier if you have some muscle. So I do recommend that. And also, when you lose the weight, you're going to be strong as fuck. So try to retain that strength because you've been carrying around a weighted vest your entire life, or, the time you've been overweight. I'm the one who was fat their entire life before they lost weight, but not everyone is. Some people start off normal and then they gain weight. But during that time, you're building up a shit ton of strength. So try not to lose it when you're losing weight. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all you do. Just keep that going. Keep an eye on it and adjust as necessary. That's it. If you want some help with that, there's probably a link to something helpful in the description of the episode. So check that out to help out. Let me know, have you been fat? How much did it suck? Leave a comment. If you're fat right now and you think it doesn't suck and that I'm being a meanie pants, leave a 1-star review. If you're trying to lose weight, badass shit, leave a 5-star review. And see you next time.